Call Allah Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Ruel. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. We're going to pick up where we left off. I did a video about, equating repetition of martial arts on, repetition of the basics or the fundamentals to the sincere milk. Okay, and then we're going to pivot over into, let's just say we're assuming the basics are down, and we want to work on your weaknesses, and where your weaknesses can show in a fight. Of course, we're speaking spirit, or I'm using a physical adaptation for, speaking in the spirit. So when your weaknesses are obvious to your enemy or to your opponent, they will exploit them, and it is up to you to work on those weaknesses day in and day out. And you do that via fasting and prayer, and basically just denying yourself. You work on those weaknesses so they can't be exploited. Now, can you get them all? Obviously not. Not in this wicked, sinful flesh. But you strive for perfection. Okay, so we'll pick up here at Hebrews 5 and 13, leaving off on the unskillful milk. So here we go. This is Hebrews 5 and 13. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age, or of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And we're also going to dive into that, discernment as well. I guess we can liken unto discernment unto not falling for a feint. Okay, you're able to discern if that person is committing to a strike or if they are feinting, and we'll get that. You know what? Let's get the word unskillful, and then I want to pull up an example of those who may not know what a feint is. Making people flinch.
Strong's G 552. Strong's G 552.
Unskillful. Inexperienced, all right? Without experience. And you gain experience, you gain drilling in those fundamentals by sparring. So you're in a spiritual sparring match, all right? You are continuously engaging in these thoughts, or should I say battling against these thoughts that you know are not yours. Things that, the spirits, maybe your woman is bitching about you because you want to hold fast, you want to hold the Sabbath dear, and she's like, well, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Or, it could be anything. Or maybe she just has an attitude, and she gets you out of your, especially if you're dealing with a black woman, so-called black woman. Just her attitude is nasty, and you let her get you out of the spirit. You got to think on things like, think of what you have. All right, don't let that be the gateway to exploit your weakness. And what I like to do, because, even the best of women here in Babylon, they're still Babylonians. Let me close this door, Slakia. Give me a second. Okay. It's distracting. But, even the best of women here in Babylon are still Babylonians. And even if you show them scriptures, and if you show that even if they inquire, even still, they'll give you a little pushback. But it's okay. Stand firm on what you believe, regardless. All right, so we got unskillful, okay, strong leader belonging to them that are full of age, or are of full age. So, and even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised. So let's look at that as well. I want You know what? What about, is that asterion? Senses, faculties of the mind for perceiving, understanding, judging. Constantly, constantly, that's what we ought to be doing. Especially when it comes to discernment. What are your thoughts? What are not? What is good and what is right and what is not? And how do you do that? You line these things up with the scriptures. What does the scripture say? And what do they describe about certain situations? Also, if you're watching your videos, there may be a situation a brother brings up that is fitting to yours. Take heed unto that. Having their senses. All right, now let's exercise gymnasio.
Strong's G 1128. Gumnazo. Gumnazo.
All right, exercise where you get that word right here, gym. That's them damn Greeks. All right, to exercise vigorously in any way, either the body or the mind. Right. Okay, so let's get some examples. Let's get a feint. Oh, where's my search bar? Jeez. There we go. Okay. Oh, I can't spell. All right, so we'll just do boxing. All right. So let's have these. I'm gonna keep it muted. Or you see what he did there, okay? So I'm gonna make sure the sound isn't playing, so I don't get a strike. You see? So basically, making that person flinch, making that person react. And if you make that person react and you can time it right, then you can land a devastating blow because you're always going to know I can make him faint, I can make him react the way I want him to, and you can create an opening. Be it if he picks his hands up to his face, boom, to the body, boom, another. So he can hit that right to the body and then another jab to the face or however he wants to sit and set it up. Okay? So, and the thing about fainting, and if you continuously fall for the feint, it is taxing on the nervous system, especially as the rounds begin to progress. You get into the third and the fourth and the fifth round, and you're constantly falling for feints, you become weak, you become weary, and then you become susceptible to all manner of attack. Does this, hopefully this is ringing a bell. This is sounding familiar. How you can walk or how you can add this into your spiritual walk, okay? And we'll get Ephesians 4:14. Because falling for the faint, we can liken unto, and this can be go many different ways. So I'm only gonna kind of get one. All right. This can go into falling with every wind of doctrine or believing everything, right? Especially when you first wake up and you read all these books, and you get the Book of Enoch, and people say things like the Ten Commandments were stolen from whatever heathen, but that when you're of age, you understand that Shem, Ham, and Japheth were there. They were progenitors of nations, or Ham had his the so-called Africans, and Japheth is your Etruscans who were in Greece before the name stealers came and took it over. Um, but they were there, so of course everybody is going to have a flood story. Everybody's going to have some sort of resemblance or semblance of their commandments, or something that seems that is something like the heritage of the Hebrews or that was given to the children of the promise. Okay, so let's get 4:14, right? Yeah, here we go. Ephesians 4. Yeah, we'll read 14. We'll start at 14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men, and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Hamashiach. Now let's get cunning and craftiness. Alright? And we know deception, we know deceive, but we're going to get it too. We're also going to get tossed. Alright, here we go. Tossed to and fro. I'm not even going to pretend an attempt to try to say that.
Strong's G 2831. Pluto needs someone.
Okay, so that Y, usually in the Greek, I've seen twice already, takes the form of almost like a U. Unless there's a vowel, I believe. Then it doesn't. But anyway, let's see. Come on, don't start that now. Alright, to be tossed by the waves. Okay, to be agitated like the waves. Mentally, right? Okay. Carried about. You know what? Let's get that too.
Strong's G 4064. Benevento.
And this is how you sharpen your sword. This is how you use your repetition to your advantage. Okay? And you leave no stone unturned as you research. You leave no stone unturned as you learn. You build up an arsenal. So that way you can have a scripture for a counterattack when your enemy throws a jab. Or, I'm more Muay Thai, so you can counter and parry and throw a kick. However you're going to do, okay, spiritually, of course. But you have the arsenal because you are learned in the scriptures. And you can think back and say, oh, well, this is what the Lord says about XYZ. Or you can look back into a specific occurrence within the history of our nation and liken that unto what you have going on now and operate in the spirit. All right, what would Yahushua do? You remember them old bracelets where, they called him the J word, WWJD. So think on that. Doctrine. Teaching, instruction, right? That is taught, right? Obviously, okay. Cunning and craftiness.
Strong's G 3834.
A species or false, I'm sorry, not species, a spacious or false wisdom in good sense, prudence, skill in undertaking and carrying on affairs. But here, false wisdom. Spacious or specious. Let's get that. Superficially plausible, but actually wrong. And you see a lot of that. Okay, not being tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. You see a lot of that because this devil has spread so many lies, and not only that, there has been so much mixing of true and false to where if you are not learned, if you are not grown, all right, of a full age, as we just read in Hebrews 4, um, you're fighting a losing battle. So it's good to perfect the milk and then discern, come of age with your discernment. And you work that like a muscle and you grow. Okay? We understand deceive. Wandering, straying about, one led astray from the right way. Roams hither and thither. Look at that. Relative to moral or religion, error which shows itself in action, wrong mode of acting, error, that which leads into error, deceit, or fraud. Alright, so following every wind of doctrine or putting your own wants, your belly, you're feeding your flesh will lead you into error, deceit, or fraud. Okay, what else? So we got that. We got Ephesians. Let me go back. I think um I'm missing something. Slovakia. Was it 5? Let me go to. No. I'm missing some. Oh, let's go back to 5. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. Was to go into Hebrews 5 and look at those. Because I don't remember if I did that or not. Oh, discernment. That's what we missed. Hey, we got exercise, but we did not get discern. Or did we? We're going to do it again anyway. No, we did not get that because I don't remember reading that.
Strong's G 1253. Deoxys.
Distinguishing, discerning, judging. Okay, maybe we did do that. Okay, but hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down here. And I didn't want to make this very long. Just get a couple of precepts so that you can kind of have something to work with, something to build on. All right, now we'll go Ephesians 5 and 15. Being circumspect, discerning the time. All right, where is he? Okay, so here, yeah. So even in your bout, in your spiritual bout, in your spiritual match, make sure you are paying attention to everything around you. All right. Um, yeah. So let's read. Let's read 5 and 15, and then this may be this may be where we can call it here. All right. So this is Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walked circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Okay. And you understand your end goal. You understand the will of the Lord. You have a purpose. You walk in it. Okay. Nobody goes into a gym, or you should not go into a gym without a plan. Even as you spar, you want to work on aspects of where you are weak. If you are weak in keeping your composure in a fight, then don't so much focus on returning or counterpunching. Focus on keeping calm, keeping cool, keeping a level head as you are in your match. Okay. If you are weak on defense, again, don't work on so much on striking. Um, Work on defending. Let the look for the person who's usually more aggressive, who's the most one of the more aggressive fighters. Okay, allow him to throw those blows. Feel comfortable getting hit. Get used to getting hit, and get used to being able to operate and defend yourself, but also not leaving openings, right? So that aggressive sparrer doesn't exploit your weakness. And prayerfully, again, you're picking up what I'm putting down here. You're understanding. Obviously, I'm speaking in the spirit. Okay. Um, I feel like I can grab some more, man. Let's get on. Let's get. You know what? Yeah. We gonna get some more on discernment here. All right. So these are just some basic, some very simple scriptures we're gonna get, right? Exercising with the milk, but also gathering a couple of things that are a little bit deeper. All right, testing the spirits. Okay, so we'll read John 4, all right, 1 through 6, and then I want to pull it in the NLT as well. All right, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets are going out into the world. And this is a very simple thing to understand, because you have that right now. All you got to do is open up your phone and get on social media and type in Christian talk or what is it, C theory, or put a hashtag something on there, and it'll be all different types of wind of doctrines. And the first line of defense on discerning those spirits is what names do they use? Do they say Jesus, or do they say Yehoshua? All right? Do they use that fake Hebrew? Okay. Are they Yiddish? Are they using that? Do they refer to God as God or Jehovah? Okay. Are they is their doctrine about BOI or black only, or they make it about color? Do they have any understanding of what the mixed multitude will be or is in the vision that we were scattered among all nations, so it is not a color thing? Right? Do they sew in small things of Christianity when they're preaching? Or when you know clear as day that the person you're listening to got their understanding from the prophets, do they give double honors to the prophets? Or if not, do they even say, hey, here's where I learned this from? Or do they pretend like they read their Bible and came up with it? These are your first lines of defense on discernment on who you should listen to and who you shouldn't. Verse 2, hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua is Hamashiach, is come in the flesh, is of God. That's a tough one. Let me reread that. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua is Hamashiach, or is anointed, okay, is come in the flesh, is of God. Basically, if they're in that spirit of Yahushua, of course we know they are not in the spirit. If they use this verbatim, they are not in the spirit. And my dog is in here snoring. Hush. Anyway, Salakia about that. Okay, so let's get verse 3. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua is anointed, or is the Hamashiach, is come in the flesh, is not of God. Alright, so very point blank, straight to the point. Either you is or you ain't. And that and this is that spirit of Antichrist or Anti-Hamashiach. Wherefore ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. I don't know why I can't read. Okay, so there's a spirit of the Antichrist that was there. This is that spirit, okay? So when you hear somebody talking about so and so is and I'll say it verbatim, the Antichrist, you know that they have no knowledge. Okay, there is no light in them. They don't preach according to the word. The Antichrist is a spirit. Anybody going against what Yahushua said to do is an anti, quote unquote, Christ. It is a spirit, not a single man. Verse 4, ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of God, and he that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth us not. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Look at that. Discerning. Okay? And there are very small things, again, that you can look into, that you can key in on and understand, and use your scruples. Exercise that discernment. So we will reread this. I'm going to get in the NLT that thing real quick, and we'll go through it pretty quickly. Dear friends, do not believe everyone who claims to speak by the Spirit. You must test them to see if the Spirit they have comes from God. For there are many false prophets in the world. This is how we know if they have the Spirit of God. If a person claiming to be a prophet acknowledges that Yahushua came in a real body, that person has the Spirit of God. But if someone claims to be a prophet and does not acknowledge the truth about Yahushua, that person is not from Yahweh. Such a person has the spirit of the Anti-Hamashiach, or the Antichrist, which you heard is coming into the world, and indeed is already here. But you belong to Yahweh, my dear children. All right. You have already won a victory over those people, because the spirit who lives in you is greater than the spirit who lives in the world. Right. And that is a very easy and obvious thing to see. Alright, while these people here nowadays are losing it and crashing out over simple things, you have the peace of the Holy Spirit. Alright, you know this is what's supposed to happen. the Lord said this would happen. The Lord said these people would do this. The Lord said the worldly people would behave in XYZ manner. And you take that and you internalize it. And when you have those carnal situations, you are able to exercise your scruples. You are able to dig in the spirit and say, you know what? Let these people have it. As they operate carnally, you operate spiritually. Those people belong to this world, so they speak from the world's viewpoint, and the world listens to them. But we belong to Yahweh, and those who know Yahweh listen to us. If they do not belong to Yahweh, they do not listen to us. That is how we know if someone has the spirit of truth or the spirit of deception. Okay, so when you try to give them that true and actual knowledge, and you come with the precepts, and you come with the evidence, and they pretty much gloss over it as if you had never said anything at all. Spirit of deception. Okay, so we read through Hebrews, right? Let's see. Oh, I think it's 12. Put it back. All right. We'll start at the top. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh. All right, this is Romans 12 and 1. That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And here's the point. And be not conformed to this world. I'm going to read it and then we're going to get that word conformed. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. Okay, so we're going to get conformed.
Strong's G 4964.
To conform oneself, and that's what Christianity is all about. Going along to get along, conforming, being one with the world. And I remember as a child, they started trying to do more outreach and secular, quote unquote, secularizing to be more palatable because you want to reach people where they are. Like, trimming your ways basically to seek love. Um, so yeah, it's time to go. The people of the Lord are supposed to stand out. Alright, fashion oneself according to. Okay. Now let's get transformed. To change into another form. To transfigure. Hamashiach appearance was changed and was resplendent with divine brightness on the Mount of Transfiguration. Okay. I want that word, resplendent. Attractive and impressive through being richly colored or sumptuous. Okay. All right. Renewing. That's all. All right. Let's get renewing.
Strong's G 342.
All right. A renewal, renovation, complete change for the better. All right. And the only way to be for the better is to align your life with these scriptures to the best of your ability. Go back. There you go. All right. Okay. So I think now we've driven the point home. Okay. Talking about discernment. Once you graduate from the sincere milk, okay, drilling down those fundamentals, and as you grow and you learn to wield your sword, you wield it with precision, or you wield whatever weapon you have within your match. You wield it with precision. The only way to do that is repetition, getting in your scriptures, and learning and applying what you've learned to your daily life, and continuously sparring, okay, especially in the mind. There are things that pop in your mind that you know that are not of you, or there are things that pop in your mind that should not, you know you shouldn't be doing it. You're like, what the hell? Why would I think that? Rebuke it. Rebuke it. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahshua, rebuke that thought. That put that out of your mind. You have to pay attention to what is, what's going on within, and be ready to fight that. I'll give you a perfect example with me. Like we all have struggles on the Sabbath. You see a girl with a, she big old behind or whatever. You see something fine, and you like, damn, you got to remind you it's the Sabbath. It's the Sabbath. Try your best to keep your mind clear, especially you want to. There are certain things that we can't do on the Sabbath and keep it perfectly, but what is within your control, you should do. Or it's nothing wrong with going on a long walk and reflecting and and or a hike or whatever on the Sabbath, but you shouldn't be going to the gym, or you shouldn't be like doing anything super. You should don't go on a long run. Like that's not something. If you walk and reflect, whatever, okay. But I always get a feeling, and I think that the spirit, whatever it is being put in my mind, I think maybe it realized I've graduated from that. So then it's going to hit me with something else. But in times past, and I'll be brief with this, and that'll be the video. Times past, on the side, I don't ever want to run. I always have to force myself to get up and go on a run. But it'll be a morning of the Sabbath, and I'll just have uh 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 uh, uh goodness. Salakia, bear with me. Let me calm down. I'll have an inkling. I have so much energy, and I'm like, damn, I really want to go on a run right now. I shouldn't do that, right? Of course, keep it to a walk, keep it to a brisk walk, reflect, listen to your lessons as you walk, whatever it may have you, okay? So that's just an example, a small example of something I go through on my own. I know those of you who may be listening, you have something that may have come to mind as I brought out some of these scriptures or some of those examples. But I pray that I've given you tools to fight. I pray that I've given you precepts that you can go a little bit deeper into, and strengthen yourself within your walk. So with that being said, I pray that you're edified. Shalom.